So we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. Today we are staying in Australia. My guest is based here in Perth, Australia, and we are going to talk about multicultural advocacy and the key to a meaningful migrant experience. And what's gonna transpire today is really something important for a lot of us. I myself a migrant, and sometimes life is not always easy. So it's always good to have some guidance and people who can mentor us and coach us. So Ephraim, who is my guest today, is actually a prominent figure in Western Australia African community. He was born in Nigeria. He migrated to Australia as a skilled professional in 2003. And he has worked with several companies, several multinational, and work on projects in Africa, Australia, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. So as you can see, he's been able to really, connect with different culture, not only through his professional life, but also in his personal life. So right now, he has shifted a little bit. His focus. His focus is he runs his own company, so he's an entrepreneur, a project management and training consultancy called WPTL, and is also the founder and director of Multicultural Professional Bridge, a nonprofit organization that facilitates participation, integration, and value for people of multicultural and migrant background, and creating opportunities for businesses for those, pertaining to this community. So we'll hear a little bit more about it because that's a very important work. Like I said, being a migrant, you always feel like, you don't have, enough information to be able to navigate, to grab opportunity that are existing, and sometimes you don't even know what are the opportunities. So that's a great work that to see that people like Ephraim are opening up, and helping migrants to get to know and provide those opportunity to them. And it didn't stop there. He's also a prominent author. He offers 3 books. One of them on the called the Handbook for Migrant, which is again a good help for migrant community, for the migrant community, and multicultural communities as well. And 2 other books that we will have the opportunity to talk about as well. But it's also started a project to coach youth and youth between the age of 12 and 17. And I was part of this project with Ephraim as a coach. And the project is called LIME standing for Leadership in Motion and Experience. And a really interesting project that has, started from almost nothing, but now really making an impact in the young generation. And Ephraim again is going to talk about it today. So I know that we all going to learn, and I hope that anybody who is watching globally can relate to what we're going to focus on today. And don't hesitate to participate, to ask questions, and to really try to understand what the work that Ephraim has been doing, and understand as well his experience as a migrant and also as an author and coaching the next generation of migrant as well. So don't go anywhere. Get ready. Have your pen, have your everything that paper, so that you can get all the information and get all the knowledge from Ephraim today, and hopefully get to implement it, in your own environment, in your own community. And also, to become the best version of yourself first, but also help people in your community to become the best version of themselves. So don't go anywhere. I'm bringing Ephraim now with us to start our conversation.
Labels, right? On memories. But as I got older, I started to be more aware of some of the abusive sides of
So hello Ephraim, welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It's such a pleasure to have you as a guest today, because I know that you have so much to share, and especially, for people globally, the diaspora, which I'm connected with, and I have a large, number of connection in the diaspora. We can learn so much from the work that you're doing, and really build on your experience. So just to start the conversation, just want you to introduce yourself to the audience and let us know, who you are, what are the key things that you've been doing, and how you managed to start doing what you're doing right now.
Hey, Mirel, it's so great to be here with you. First of all, I just want to acknowledge the great work you're doing, Mirel, reaching out to the global audience via this medium. My name is Ephraim Osaghae, originally from Nigeria, but I've called Australia home now for the past 18 years, going to 19. So, Mirel, coming here with my wife, then now we are a family of 5. I've had a lot of experiences. I've had a lot of the good, the challenges, and the lessons I've learned along the way, which is always has become my passion, because many times people all over the world want to make this big move. It's a significant move to migrate. So one of my passion is really to share lessons I've learned along the way, what I've observed, researches that have been made, mainly with the purpose of making it easier for those coming behind, and also easier for those that we've met. Because, as you know, with integration, it takes many sides to work together. So that's really my passion now. I still do my project. I'm a certified project management practitioner. I still do my teaching. I teach in the university just to share knowledge. I still do my ministry. I'm quite strong in my value system, but everything comes together, Mirel, to humanity. How do we make it better for others? So I'll leave it at that for now. But once again, thank you for having me on this show, Mira.
You're welcome, and like you said, everything comes down to humanity, and at some point, especially when you were young, it's not our priority. It's not really our priority, but we just realize that we have to focus on making life better for others, not just for us, so that, we can grow humanity as a whole, not just, try to grow ourselves and then get stuck at some point. So because you've been, when you came, you were mostly doing, working for corporate, doing your normal job. So what drove you to philanthropy and really start to spend more time? What was the breakthrough or the trigger, or I don't know how to define it? What really, push you?
Mirel, that's a profound and quite a deep question, because you're really bringing it out from the depth for me here. It's a combination of pain and also pride, because when you come over, it's a big move, Mirel. Like you said, I was working in the corporate. I've had a taste of what it means to rise to the top, even in diaspora. But with that comes quite some pains as well, because when you are trying to integrate, when you are trying to stamp your foot on the ground, when you are trying to make your mark, when you are trying to excel in a place where sometimes you may feel like a stranger, you may feel like you're dissipating so much energy to prove yourself rather than excelling. So those are some of the key things that drove me. After a while, I still do my corporate, but I just realized, Mirel, that people need to learn. People need to find out. Unfortunately, you're here before you realize the lessons you should have learned before you leave where you're coming from. So I'm really big in that aspect of how can we make it easier for those coming behind, because migration will keep going on. The world is a global village now. There will still be multiculturalism. So the key question is, we need to do better. Currently, I feel there is room for improvement for those that are coming over, for those that are local, and for everyone for that matter. All stakeholders need to come together to say, oh, how can we live together better? So that is one of my key driver, Mirel. And it wasn't going to work by just sitting and not doing anything. I recall it was my last flight back from my posting at the Middle East as an expat. I was on that flight, and something in me switched. It's like a pin dropped to say, I'm going back to Australia, which I now call home. But things need to be different. Things need to change. A lot of people are doing great stuff already, but I just felt I needed to contribute. So right there while sitting on that plane, doing the usual thing you do while flying, I started scribbling the vision. And that was what gave birth to Multicultural Approach.
Okay, and you're right. I mean, sometimes as a migrant, we get lost. We don't know, even if things look good from the outside. Sometimes you still need to find your mark and know exactly who you are in this new environment where you are. But you don't have to sit and wait. It starts with you, and that's really good that you took the step to say, okay, this is painful for me, I'm lost, but I'm not going to wait for anybody. I'm going to start the process so that the next people coming can capitalize on what I do, and then do better, and and avoid this pain that I have to go through. So that's really powerful. So let's have just a short break to see exactly what you do with one of your organization, and in collaboration with different other organizations and different people. And we come back and have continue our discussion on multicultural and the migrant life as well. We are back with Ephraim, and our focus is on multicultural advocacy and the migrant life, migrant experience. So, I mean, you started the Multicultural Advocacy Resources Connect. So, what is this organization, and what do you do, as part of this this platform, this structure?
Mirel, Mark, which is what that Multicultural Advocacy and Resource Connect means, was born out of the fact that there were a lot of people of migrant and multicultural background that were really going through a lot of stress in the workplace, Mirel. And again, some of these are coming from my own experience and from the experiences of my team. We realize that a lot of people go through workplace challenges just because they don't know the local nuances. So it's not just rushing to the legal side of things, the local ways of doing things. The kind of unspoken stories behind the workplaces, and Mireille, you will know this. You don't walk into a workplace and just break through. Sometimes you have to understand what works. You have to understand the language of human resource people. So for people that have come over, sometimes they're really struggling with some of these issues. Yes, there are also bullying, discrimination, wage theft, so a lot of things, but we focus on the strength base. How do you educate yourself to be more aware? How do you understand, really take time to understand what place you are going to? And many of these initiatives, Mirel, are not just directed at people here. We're also trying to reach out to intending migrants, those that are new, and sometimes those that have been here for a while in diaspora, but are really stagnant. So at different levels, and like you saw in that video, we work with a lot of partners and collaborators because we cannot, right from the beginning, Mirel, when MPB, which is the shortening for Multicultural Professional Bridge, when I was starting that, I made up my mind with my team. We are not going to be another exclusive party. So among our members are people that are local, are people that are really, even the government agencies, they get what we are trying to do. So we try to be open while we know our culture, while we understand what our people go through. We also incorporate others to support what we are doing because we cannot do this alone. So Mark was really born out of that. How can we make it a little bit painless for people of migrant and multicultural background with regards to workplace issues? Now, the idea is, again, like I said earlier, is not to start from the negative part of going to court. Let's start with education. Let's start with awareness. Let's start with cultural alignment. Let's start with holding your ground in the workplace, because sometimes you have to know how to show up. I have one of my colleagues in the team, he uses that word a lot. Migrants need to learn to show up. We cannot just keep being insignificant. We cannot remain invisible. We cannot say, oh, that person will know that I'm here. It doesn't work in some of these areas. You have to show up. Mireille, you have been in leadership in corporate. If you don't show up, nobody will count you.
No.
So we start from that place with Mark. How can you develop the best of you so that one human resource manager will not use you as a sounding board for testing all their negative aspects? So we start from that point and then we build up to, is there a legal aspect? We have partners, Employment Law Center, they support us legally. Is there a part for human resource? Barry Jones, the person you saw there, is really working with us to provide our human resource expertise. So Mark has really come a long way. We've been supported by government because they get it. We've been supported by communities because they know that our people need such help. So I will stop there for now in case there are other questions, but Mark is really a big part of what we do, Miral.
Yeah, and you're right, and I like this statement. Migrants need to learn to show up, and in everything, even in life, you have to show up, because otherwise nobody pay attention. Nobody is gonna come and rescue. It starts with you. So, and that's very important. And the other part that I get also from the work that you're doing is that it has to be a collaboration effort, because it's not just one body that's going to solve everything. You need to bring people together with different expertise and look at people who have this different experience, so that you can come to a common, solution, which is actually going to be a win-win solution for the migrants, for the country, for anybody and any organization involved. So we have few people here. We have Tito, she's watching from South Africa. We have Sophie as well. Sophie is watching from Cameroon, and she's really enjoying the conversation. And she said, holding your grounds in the workplace. Yes, you have to be really competitive in a way, if that's in the right way, and show up what you can do, and educate yourself, like you said, and grow as a professional and as a human being as well, without losing who you are. You're losing yourself. So that's the key thing here. So I mean, what do you see, I mean, as happened since you started all of this? What are the result, the tangible result that you've seen, and you say, okay, yeah, we've had an impact here? Anything that you can share with us?
Oh, Maria, that's really one that I could start going from case to case, but really we've had situations where people have really written to us either verbally or even sometimes formally through our feedback system to say, I never knew my rights. I never knew how I need to position myself in the workplace, because that part is really the big part. There's so much Mark can do, but when you get people to a point where they can take it and run with it, then they don't come back to you always. So we've really had that shift in awareness. We've had shift in right. Know your rights. It's not enough. Sometimes as people of migrant background, multicultural background, there's that feeling that, oh, they will not give me what I deserve. Oh, nobody will listen to me. And we know that there are still barriers, but we need to build, and we've seen that level of confidence being built up in the community. Because again, Mireille, if we have just only one person getting it, it's a good start, but really we are after community shift. We are after critical mass. And we are seeing that now, as a result of Mark and MPB, people are becoming more aware of how to show up. I'll keep using that word in the workplaces. They are beginning to have a change in mindset, because that's where the battle is won and lost, as you know. If you don't change your mind, you will not be able to change your action. If you don't change your mind, your behavior will keep showing the opposite direction. So that mindset, and we've seen that shift, Mireille, and people are getting more and more, and we've seen the results where it's not enough now. And I think even the employer group are beginning to appreciate what we do. they are seeing a shift in that positive approach of workers from migrant and multicultural background. But I must say one thing here, Mireille, that we've seen in recent time, and that's the direction we are going. We realize that it's enough. I think it's high time we stop shouting only our negatives and disadvantage. Many times in the community space, and I'm not saying that there may not be some cases that deserve that kind of support, but to associate disadvantage with migrants and people of multicultural background, we are changing that narrative because we are smart people. We are, as you know, we are very entrepreneurial. We are very, if you give us the opportunity, we show up big and we actually change results. So we're really doing more in that area to say, hey, guys, enough of showing the narrative of, oh, we are vulnerable, we are weak, we need help, I need food. Of course, we know media has not done too well for us. When you show only people that are suffering from malnutrition in Sub-Saharan Africa, it's a mindset. So that is one area that MPB is occupying now. We are moving from a place of disadvantage to the narrative of strength, to the narrative of competitive advantage, to the narrative of we have something to bring to the table. Hey, we are not just coming from a place of nothing. We have something to bring. So that is one area that MPB and Mark is shifting to now, Mireille. Let me stop a bit. Maybe there are other questions to ask, but you can see the excitement is there.
No, I mean, I'm quite excited because those are the things that I believe in. Because I've been really exhausted to see migrants who have potential just falling victim of this narrative, thinking that they don't have they don't have value, they can't bring anything on the table, and they can't make a difference, they can't actually be competitive. And sometimes, like you said, it's just a shift in the mindset, and we need we need help. And that's where I think your work and the organization and people working with you comes in, is really make this work of empowerment. Because I mean, we have all the empowerment in women, but also I think we have to start talking about empowering migrants, because like you said, the migration is now something very common. And we need to understand, how do we empower those people, moving around for the best of everybody, because it's not just for them, it's for the best of any country where they're going to go and live and migrate, and really look at it from a positive point of view. But obviously it starts with the migrant himself thinking, I can do it. It's going to be hard. Yes, there are obstacles, there are challenges, but I can do it. So that's really important. So a small break on we have few more people. So Sophie, again, you need to show up. And then we have Kenya. She's watching from the US and enjoying the conversation. And we have Chikas. Chikas is from Nigeria and learning a lot from the conversation today. So really, really interesting conversation. And yes, like you said, you can't talk about all the example. It's going to be too exhaustive, but we can see, and I can attest that the difference is we can see the difference. So I mean, then you are also an author, still focusing on migrant, and you've offered your first book actually was on the migration, and it's called the Handbook of the Handbook for Migrants: The Good, the Challenge, and the Lesson. Let's listen to what you have to say about the book, and then we'll dig a little bit more on what the book is all about, and the different things that we can learn from it. So don't go anywhere. Just a short break to hear what Ephraim has to say about his own book.
The Handbook for Migrants, the good, the challenges, and the lessons. It's also a reflective guide for the whole life migrant experience. One of the key drivers for this book really is coming from my own experience. Having been in this country for a while, I've enjoyed the blessings of working in a good company, in a couple of good companies. I've also learned that life is more than just work, especially as a migrant. Quite a few things are left behind, quite a few things are left unattended to. In the real sense, those other things could actually be enhancing or actually going against your bid to have a better career life. So I've had to take a step back to say, okay, what are the other things that will make my life a meaningful experience here in Australia?
So we have you wrote this handbook for migrant, and so what was the basically the reason, what is the focus of the book, and how do you think it's gonna help migrants like myself or anybody who actually want to migrate as well?
Hey, Mireille, you want to get me excited now because really...
That's what I want. I want you to tell us everything today.
It's not just because I authored that book, but that book was born out of real experience. Because, Mireille, when I left Nigeria in 2003, I didn't see what I was going to face. It was just like many people, I wanted a better life. I wanted to explore opportunities out there. I've heard about overseas, and like I wrote in that book, yes, there are good aspects of migration. Of course, you have to go to the right place. And Australia is a blessed country. You know that, Mireille. So there are good aspects. Like I wrote in a book, just having a system where you don't have to bother how your refuse is taken care of. You just, on a particular day, my day is Thursday, I just need to dump it in the box outside the bin, and it gets taken away. Look at the roads. Look at the waste system. Look at the current COVID. Not many countries can tell the citizens, don't worry, we are with you on this. We know it's hard right now. A lot of jobs are being lost. Take this little money. Keep taking care of yourself before work comes. That's a blessing to be in such a country. So there are always the good parts that I wasn't disappointed, Mireille. But yes, there are challenges. One of the big ones is just that loss of dreams. I wrote an article one time, a blog. I said, when are we going to have a situation where hard-earned certificates of migrants are just being flushed in the drain? It's painful. I remember when I had my MBA in Uniben, it was a big deal, Mireille. But on many occasions, you end up not using any of these. And it is a loss. It is a big loss. So I wrote that book just to let people know the reality, especially for intending migrants, know the challenges. Yes, we celebrate the good part, but know the challenges ahead of time so that you don't have to go through some of the pain that we went through. So I think that's the one big part, Mireille. How can you make the bridge? How can you build a bridge for others coming? That's why the metaphor bridge is a big part for everything we do. I do. Because we need to keep building bridges of hope. We need to keep building bridges of strength. We need to keep building bridges that will help people to make the right decisions. The earlier you know before you fly, the better for you. I'm not saying that don't do it. Ultimately, I can tell you where I am now is better than where I was. But we just need to educate people. We need to inform people. So the book was born out of the need to share, just to share lessons, to share intelligence, to share with different stakeholders. So not just for intending migrants, but the new ones that are trying to settle down where they need to go for work. There are 4 key areas that I really majored on in the book with regards to career, Mirel. Communication. With Nigeria, for example, it's not language. We speak English, but how do you settle into an environment? Sometimes when you speak English, it looks as if you are not speaking English. So you need to learn the ropes. Then the other one is just that qualification area. How do you avoid less flushing of your hard-earned certificates? It's in the book. And then the other big one is work experience, the chicken and egg situation, Mirel. How do you get work experience without you being given a chance? And how do you get a chance without work experience? Chicken and egg. So I provided some intelligence in the book. And finally, the big one, networking. The moment I stepped out of my country, Mirel, 2003, it doesn't matter whether I had 2 million networks. They were all literally dead. You come in here, you start all over again. And like they say, your network is your net worth. Your next job, we used to think back where we came from, Mirel, that who you know is bad. You know? But it's
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Your network. And if you are somebody that is different, you didn't go to school with them, you didn't go to the same club or party with them, how do you build that network at a very fast pace? So I try to share, really put it out there in the book, Mirel, so that people can learn a little bit, and it's better for them as they come, you know.
And it's good to share, because sometimes, and I don't know about you, but you know, in my own experience, you know, back in West Africa, especially Francophone Africa, we think that, you know, when you have the qualification, that's all, you know, you can migrate and everything will be okay. But that's not the reality, you know. It's just one part, like you said, of it. And then you have the whole integration. That is a big one. And the network is big. It's just like in any other country. Even where we come from, the network is big. Here is the same. If you don't know the right people, you don't get the right opportunities. And that sometimes get lost into the process. For migrants who migrate, they think, okay, it's too much here. So when I'm going to go there, I'm not going to have to face that. But yet you still need to create a network that's going to support you and create opportunity for you. And then you can back it up with your qualifications and continue to learn, because that's also one thing that I've seen. I don't know about Nigeria, but I think people, when they have their, you know, they've had their doctorate or something, they think that that's it. You know, they can't, you know, it's a done deal, but then you have to still, you know, get, you know, new skills and stay competitive and understand the market, understand your right as well. So, I mean, you've obviously went on, write on different other books. Let's just take a break and see, you know, for the book, a little video on the books that you've offered in a very short time, actually, which is very, very good.
It's all driven by passion.
So we are back with Ephraim, and as you can see, is now a prominent author. He has authored now 3 books on his own, and the 4th book, very interesting book with youngsters. And he started the Lime Project, which is leadership in motion experience for youth here in Western Australia, youth of different backgrounds, different multicultural background and of different experience. And that's actually where I connected. I worked with closely with Ephraim as a mentor for a few months, helping him in this initiative. So Lime is, it's been growing. It started from nothing, but now I can say that it has taken off. So can you talk a little bit about how it came to be, and really what you're trying to accomplish with everybody involved with this project?
Yes, Mirel, again, I must give credit to whom is due. Mirel is a phenomenal leader. Thank you so much. I remember the keynote during the launch of Lime. That was delivered by Mirel. And a lot of the youth are still asking today, wow, what an inspiration. So this is what we are talking about with Lime. We need to bridge, again, build a bridge for the next generation, Mirel. Because I don't know for you, Mirel, sometimes when I try to look into the future of migrant youth and people of multicultural background, and the statistics are not looking good in terms of how quickly they derail, how quickly, unfortunately, some end up in the bad group. As you know, some of the disciplines, some of the culture, or some of the things that have kept you and I in that frame as migrant and multicultural people are not going to apply to our children.
No.
They are not. So they need support. So Lime was born out of that vision. How do we provide that support for our next generation? How do we tell them, hey, you are a star? When somehow out there, because you think what we experience as adults, they don't. They do. They also experience all the discrimination, all the labeling, all the stereotypes. I don't want to go into what has happened in the last few days, or the Black Lives Matters. It is becoming clear now that the status quo cannot remain. But we've seen some of these already. So Lime was born out of that passion to say, hey, we cannot let these children just be on their own. We cannot allow them to be told what they are not. They are not failures. They are actually stars. Given the opportunity, and we have to make that opportunity happen, Mireille. Given the opportunity, they do show up, you know. And as you know, with Lime, they've shown up big. Apart from, coming together to author the book, which I supported in compiling, these youth are now doing podcasts, where they are actually rewriting the narratives. They are actually telling the stories. And this comes back to everything that I do, Mirel. We are the one that can tell our stories better. By the time we allow just ABC or CNN to tell our stories for us, then we are missing it. And that is right as well. And that is why I actually do Lime. And I of course, I don't work alone. Like you said, Mirel has supported us. We have a team. So these youth are having the opportunity to express themselves. Lime does not duplicate schools. Schools are there. but Lime is meant to complement school, but with a focus for migrant and multicultural youth from all backgrounds. We have Chinese, of course, we have Nigerians, we have people from other African countries, we have India, really coming together to say, this youth, hey, we can do it. And they are really doing great stuff, Mireille. So Lime was born out of the need to allow youth of multicultural and migrant background to be the best form of themselves. Let me borrow from Greatness Engineering. You can see that your print is already there, Mireille.
Yeah, so, that's what I love it. It has to become the narrative, definitely.
Yes, and they are actually showing
and it's so beautiful because
continue, Mireille.
Go ahead, Ephraim, sorry.
No, I think I was just going to tie it together to say, yes, they are showing that the best form of themselves. They are authors. It's not every day you find youth that will take the discipline to listen, to research, and to write, and then to now start talking about what they have written. Their podcast is making a lot of impact. They've done one on multiculturalism. Next week, Saturday, it's all about education pathways and careers. They really putting it out there that, hey, I matter a lot. It's not just only Black Lives Matters here. Lime youth matter a lot. And they are working from strength, Mireille. Like I said earlier on, enough is enough of our youth are the ones that are likely going to go into drugs. Our youth are the ones that are likely to be nothing in their lives. These limers are doing the best of being the best form of themselves. Thank you once again, Mireille.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I was so amazed by how they've grown. In those 2 years, it's just amazing. From really baby steps, and being in the right environment and having the right team supported them and guiding them and coaching them. They're just now the best version of themselves, and it's not going to stop at this level. And they are now also, they are now role models for people of their age. And now, we've created, you created a ripple effect, because it started with them, and now they're going to contaminate, the rest. And that's really what we're looking for, to change the narrative and make sure, like I always say, to become the best version of themselves, and really, bring the value that we need, as in the country where they're growing up, but also in their communities, and bring this, this positivity, this, and really go to the next level of their greatness. So I have a small clip of, the limers, which is really interesting to see, just a short one. So let's have a short break, and we'll come back for the last part of the show.
Few things that Lime is all about, and you'll hear from the youth themselves very soon. Like I said, we try to complement schools, communication skills, public speaking, think tank projects where youth come together to brainstorm ideas, and some of those ideas have resulted in projects.
You see something, guys.
Hi, I'm Hamanichi Deng. I'm 14 years old, and I'm proud to be on this podcast, and I'm proud to be a Limer.
And I'll hand over to Keisha.
Hello, everyone. My name is Keisha. I'm 18 years old, and I'm proud to be a Limer and proud to be doing this podcast.
And thank you guys very much. For myself, I'm King David. I'm 17, currently I'm student at Rothman Senior High School, about to finish, which is great. And yeah, that Nichi can do in an American accent. So right now,
yo, come on, man.
Come on.
So it's so beautiful and humbling to see, those youngsters grow. They're now they're so confident. I mean, they can speak even better than me now on stage. They can, they write books. They analyze things in a very mature way. And those are just, very young, they're young from 12 to 17, 18 maximum. So there's hope, and really, the future is great. I think if we continue this, if this program can grow, not only in Australia, but also, beyond border, because the results are there. The results are really there. So, I mean, we're getting really at the end, of this conversation. And one thing that I wanted to ask you, based on your experience, what advice would you give to, the next generation of migrants who want to follow on your footsteps? What are the key things that, the key message that you want them to get from you?
Oh, Mirel, I think you're asking me a live question, and I'll answer it because it's very important. It's where my heart really lies now. I just want to say that try to be holistic. Try to be holistic. Just know that when you make a big move like migration, there are going to be shifts. And that shift has to start from you. I still struggle because I didn't start early. And this is why I write. People can start early. Be holistic in your approach. Just know that family life is going to be challenged. Just know that your children is not going to be exactly the way you dreamt it, the way you were brought up. Just know that the family is going to be, you're just going to have to take time to look after your whole life. Don't take it that you're just coming here to pursue dollars. You have to take care of the whole life, the family, your health. Yes, we know the hospitals, the health system is good, but the health of the mind, very important. Because sometimes migrants get really overwhelmed, and sometimes some of them fall sick. So you can see that it's my heart, it's my passion, and that is why I'm now writing beyond just work. It's now about how do you adopt, how do you adapt, and how do you, I even write now about aging, because you're going to age in a land. Mirella, don't know for you, I started thinking of my aging. You're going to age in a land. Some of us used to boast, I'm going to go back home, but we're now realize that this is home.
No, this is home, this is home.
It's different aging here. So, the earlier you start thinking of all those things, unfortunately or fortunately, it may mean that you may not have to migrate, but it will be your best decision. So try and make your best decision. I just want to make one point clear, Mirel. Whatever we do, we now realize that it's important not to have the mindset that the local are against me. They are the other. So everything I do, personally, my books and our organization, we try to be integrative. We cannot afford to do it alone. So we work with locals. We have to make them know that we are friends. So have that in mind as well. And can I just say, you made mention something just now, Mirel, beginning to think back to our roots. There is no need to just be a bubble here. So like you said, Lime is trying to see how we can extend the benefits. So I'm open to anyone that listen to this and think that, let's learn more about Lime. And I also try to engage with our government people back home, because we need to take care of our home so that we give people the option if needed, to go back home. I'm not preaching that abroad is not good or overseas is not good, but this is the holistic mindset I refer to. So, Mirel, I just said my heart there because this is my heart right now. How to
And
make
I
it
know,
better for people.
and I know it's your heart, and that's why I wanted you here so that people listen to this message because, like you said, we all have a different experience of the migrant life. It might be good for certain people, maybe that's the best option, but for others, it's not the best option. So people need to understand, what they will be confronted with and really understand, do I fit into all of this? And when they've made their choice of staying and being a migrant, they have to integrate themselves. It doesn't mean that they have to lose themselves, but they have to find a way to blend, with what's existing because it's not home for them. So it's really important to have this view and really encourage people, whoever is listening, to really, understand what the work that Ephraim has been doing. It's tremendous work, and it's not just, writing books and talking about it. It's really on the ground as well, really going into communities, talking to government, and talking to organization on the ground, local and also international organization, to make this possible, to make this, inclusive and diversity and inclusion possible here in Australia, and particularly in Western Australia. And we're starting to see fruits. I've seen it, when I was involved with the Lime Project. I've seen how the youngsters have evolved and where they are right now from where they started. And I think it's possible for any of us. We've obviously started late, and then, like you said, but those youngsters have the opportunity to really start early, and we can imagine where they're going to be when they're going to be our age, and the impact that they're going to bring into into Australia or wherever they are. So just to know a little bit, how can people connect with you if they want to understand a little bit more what you do, or if they want one of your book or anything, and anything coming up, because you are a busy man. So what's up, anything that you want us to know?
Yeah, no, I think Mirel, once again, thank you for this opportunity. Yes, I'm open. I'm about the people business, so I'm open to connection, ideas, all the regular social media pages. You'll find me there. Yes, so just you could reach out. Let's connect. Let's share ideas. Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and also I have my own website. About the books, they are all on Amazon. I can assure you it's what a read. One of them is actually less than 1 hour. The adult at that achieve. But yes, once you read that book, it looks like I'm selling myself here, but really, that my last book, AAA guide, it's big. I poured out my heart so that people don't have to go through, people don't have to go through the dark to come overseas, So, Mirel, yes, thank you. We're active. Lime is active. Lime podcast is regular. If you want to know more, search it out. Multicultural Professional Bridge is also very active. Like I said earlier on, Mirel, I would love to. We are now beginning to extend back to our roots. We have to give back, because that's where solution at the root always bring out the best. When you want to give manure to a plant, you go to the roots, you give it manure there. So we really want to also feed back to our roots. So anyone that reads that has been here and this connects with you, you think there could be room for partnership, government organizations, yes, we're open. But once again, thank you, Mirel.
You're welcome. And it has been really, really good to have you to finally talk about the extensive work and very important work, especially like you said, there's people migrate now, all the time, and especially people from Africa, where we all come from. They migrate, in different countries, and they really need to understand, because like you said, they just take a chance. They don't really know. Some of them don't really know where they're going, how it works, the system. And then by the time you realize, you just realize it's not what you wanted to have. And it's not really the dream that you had when you left your country. So it's important that, it's people understand that they have to prepare this move, understand where they're going, and know that they're still gonna have to work hard and position themselves and show up, like you said, to be able to make it as well in their country of where they're going to be going. So very, very good. I hope that the audience also enjoy our conversation, and please connect directly with Ephraim if you want to understand what he's doing, especially for the Lyme, and also his books on migrant, and the work that he does as well with Mark, which is those are very important things for us, as human being, because it's about humanity, like he mentioned during the show. It's about growing as as one, and really making sure that humanity is the one winning. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's going to be a second show after this one in 1 hour. We're going to go to the US, and we're going to talk to a group of women about stepping into their territory and understand how they went from very powerless to powerful, and still building themselves despite all the challenges. And some of them had great challenges, and how they emerge as champion to be able to now be role models for a lot of women in their communities. And so that's what we have. There's also still the book coming in October. So that's a devotional book, Blueprint from Heaven, from 20 Voice of Wisdom devotional. I'm one of the author, and my devotional is going to be about the biblical life of Abraham. So hopefully people are gonna learn from it. So it's coming out in October, and we'll talk a little bit more when we get close to the release of the book, the publication of the book. So before we leave, Ephraim, there's a very good question that I like to ask to my guest is, what is the legacy that you want to leave, Ephraim, before we leave this platform?
I just want to be known to have built quite some sustainable bridges for hope. Bridges.
So you're about bridges, and we see already happening. So it's just bring it to the next level, and so that's all for today. And I encourage you to really take seriously all the knowledge and all the experience that was shared today. And it's a good thing to listen. It's a good thing to take notes, but make sure you implement. And if you have a gap, get back and in touch with the specialists, people who know. And in this case, it's Ephraim. So go and connect with Ephraim. And to those who are watching, who are going to watch the replay, same thing. Don't hesitate to come back to us and really, be part of this what's going this work, because it's actually for all of us to start, putting the effort and working for a better world, and leave nothing on the table of life, and go to the next level of our greatness, because there's no limit. It's just the limit that we put in our own head. So that's all for this episode, and I will be back in 1 hour with a conversation on stepping into our territory. So God bless you all. And for those who are going to be back, see you later. For the other ones, I'll see you for another episode and we really enjoy. And thank you so much, Ephraim, again for your time and for your input.
I must thank you too. Thank you.
Sharing your experience.
Thank you,
Thank you, and bye, everybody.